Hey guys, well, we're here at the K-Bar booth and with the man Ethan Becker himself, the guy that called me what's-his-face the other day when they were discussing this knife. So he's going to tell you a little something about some of his things he's got coming on.
Okay, this is the Becker knife and tool version of an S-Muck, and the people that know me very well know that I have had issues with S-Muck knives, mostly because I've had issues with S-Muck himself, because he always looked down on people, and I hate it when people are condescending. And I truly believe that the only reason he was put on earth was to inspire Horace Kephart. And
one of your heroes.
Who is one of my heroes, big time. So the person who actually did the blade design on this was Jason Moses up at the plant, and he did a really nice job of taking the S-Muck and turning it into a really good skinner and a pretty good thing for small stuff. And
but you bleed on my knife.
Yeah.
That'd be better than an autograph.
No, there'd be DNA on there. So anyway, you'll note that with all of my knives, I've gone way out of my way to remove as many hot spots as possible.
Absolutely.
Because
if you BK-17 for a long time because of that.
You pick up, most people when they pick up a blade are not thinking about the fact that if you're in a bad situation, you may be working with that for hours. And if you're working with something for hours, you don't want anything that's going to create hot spots. Because if hot spots turn into blisters, and blisters turn into pain, and I hate pain.
They can turn into nasty wounds.
Yes, they can. So
I've lived off grid twice in my life for over a year. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So, and I'm a chef on the side, and
I love the way all of these, this and the BK-18 both. I picked up the BK-18. I was like, man, that's the most tactical shelter knife I've ever seen in my life. I like this. And then you come out with this, it's like, oh, I like that better.
Yeah. Well, it's a very, the whole point of things to make sure that you have some kind of a little palm swell, and it doesn't have to be much.
Just some contours.
That it has to be there in order for it to really feel comfortable in your hand. And if the knife doesn't feel comfortable in your hand, you're probably not going to use it very much.
Right, you're not going to like it.
So there's a reason why there's an "and" tool on the knife, the end of Becker knife. Because I've always viewed knives as tools foremost, and this guy's actually very, very, very slicey. So a lot of what we use knives for in the woods is not what we think we're going to use them for.
No.
Because in our heart of hearts, we're going to be stabbing that bear, and we're going to be taking that wolf down and all that stuff.
Right up to the moment when you look at that bear in the eye and say, you know what, I really just don't want to fight that thing.
Yes. But if you do, stick them in the eye.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was following it around. On my next video, you're going to see about 5-inch bear tracks. So I was following it through the blueberry patch. Never could get a kid see the bear. I was like, geez, I got lots of its tracks. So I did a video on situational awareness and look at your berry competition, because it's there.
Right.
You know.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
And I made a mistake one time when I was in my early 20s. We were doing rappelling demonstrations at a sports show, and there was a guy that had a wrestling bear.
Oh, okay.
And if you gave him $50, and if you won, you got 200 or something like that. So he said, "You want to take a shot at the bear?" And I was young and a lot dumber than I am now. Not that I've really improved all that much. And
we're all young when we're dumb. Or dumb when we're young.
I said, "Sure." And the term bear hug is not a figure of speech.
Oh, it's a real thing.
It's like hydraulics comes to mind, big hydraulics. Oh. And I just looked over at him and I go,
Can't breathe.
Tell him to let me loose, please. I had nightmares about that for a long time. Nice bear, though. I mean, as bears go.
When I go up to the Smokies, I see a lot of the grown ones, so I don't sweat those too much because they watch me. They'll set at a distance. What scares me is when I find the tiny tracks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, where's the mama?
Yeah, where's mom?
Because mom scares me a lot worse than dad does.
Oh, buddy. So, but anyway, this is a damn good camp knife.
Yeah, and I love this sheath. I love the way you made it ambidextrous, so you can switch it around. Because I'm ambidextrous because mom made me that way. Because I started out left-handed, but apparently in her mind, the world wasn't made for left-handed people. So,
as the father of a left-handed son, I know this. And if I don't make things ambidextrous, I hear about it.
Oh yeah.
So. This I'm going to share with people because you can do that easily with this sheath.
Let's get this thing down here so we can see it. There we go. All right.
So I learned this trick from Dave McIntyre, who won alone the second season. And he and I were at Knife Nuts in the Woods thing down in North Carolina. And piece of bicycle inner tube.
What we call Ranger band sometimes.
Yeah. And you get light, hit direction, flip it over. I've got a little fire steel and a diamond sharpener.
Nice one set up.
And guess how,
yeah, there's almost none. And I was watching the video when you were calling me what's his face and stuff, and I was thinking that's exactly what I'm going to do with this.
Did I really do that?
Yeah, you like a few years ago, what's his face? Yeah, he's a Mistwalker, and I loved it. I was like, man, that's the first time I've heard Mistwalker in years. I was like, at least he remembers that. But yeah, I thought I was like, that's the best compliment I get. He's going to compliment me for helping him figure out certain things, and admit that sometimes I know something he might not. But he's got to not make it sound too good. So that's the.
Well, I think when I first knew you, you were using Mistwalker all the time.
Exactly. I don't have a problem with it. I regret changing that on Blade Forums.
How bad?
Because a lot of people are searching for my old material. So now I got to go talk to Kevin and say, hey, can we switch it back? Because I got people fussing at me because they're searching for some of my old stuff and they can't find it because I changed names. So it's like, okay, and I miss that nickname. Because I still have friends that come and say, hey, what's going on, Mist? And I'm like, I'll be with other friends. They're like, what do you call you? And I got one that's British, so he calls me Misty. And I get some of the funniest looks over that one.
I bet.
Okay. He's British. You just got to look over the British. But it's great seeing you. I've missed you.
Good to see you.
Elena is upset with you for moving.